What's going on, Silver Squad? My name is RJ,
I'm Hero Harrison J.
And I'm Gerald.
and welcome to the Silver Site. Today, we are going to be talking about the Black Panther passing the mantle. We're going to be doing some fan casting today. So, let's just jump right into it. So, okay. I know, and when we all sent our fan casting in, to our email, and we found that we had a lot of overlapping, I guess, choices. So let's just go down the list and say who we picked, and we picked a few funny ones. So we'll see. So this is my number one right here.
Okay.
I've loved every single thing I've seen him in, and I feel like we've only seen the tip of the iceberg of what this man is capable. But what y'all think about John David Washington overall and as Black Panther?
Um.
Go ahead, Gerald.
So overall, I feel like he has the reach. I feel like he does have the reach. I'm gonna be honest. When I first saw him, I despised him when he was in that show with The Rock. When he was
Ballers.
Woo,
Okay,
I despised him. I was like, this dude, who is this? I had no idea who he was, and I was like, oh, this my man's fully himself. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I don't know about this dude. Then fast forward to like Black Klansman, and he murked that role to me. I was sold. Then it was like I went from completely off the reservation to completely on board with whatever he was gonna do. So I was locked in with him.
Man, I do agree with Gerald on this one. I think he definitely has the reach because I think he can get away with that. But personally, in my eyes, I don't see him in that role only because I still feel like there's not as much tenacity that he has as the other actors that he can bring. And that's not a diss. That's just the angle, his look. Some people have certain looks for things, and I just don't think that John, fantastic, phenomenal actor.
Yeah. Hey, AK.
For that.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I think he has the range. I think he has the range, but I get why you would say like, nah, I don't know if he really could do Black Panther. So I think we're all in agreement that we would be okay with it, but
yeah.
Right.
I mean, I feel like he like even with what he did with the creator, I felt like that was more in line with the idea of a character like T'Challa. So I could kind of argue that, man. So as much as I was like kind of like, well, I wouldn't be mad at it, I guess.
Yeah, I'd be able to sleep at night. Now, one person who I would be absolutely devastated, I probably would rip the entire Marvel universe to shreds. If Tyler Perry got to play Black Panther, this would be the death of me.
Listen, would be the worst. That would be my last time ever watching anything Marvel related ever again on this planet. I don't care if they offer me money to watch. I would not do it anymore. It'll be a wrap. It'll be a wrap.
I'll put it plain and simple. Yeah, for me, if they did something like that, went down that road, I would never watch anything Disney again. So,
man, he went all the way across the Disney smorgasbord. Yeah. So here's my thing. As a business person, Tyler Perry is all about trying to employ people and do this, but he wants his hand in everything, and I don't foresee him in somebody like Kevin Feige ever coexisting on the same plane because Tyler Perry's used to calling his own shots and doing his own thing anyway.
He's not going to even when he played in Cross.
Oh, that was terrible.
I don't believe
terrible.
I was disappointed.
Yeah,
I wasn't even disappointed. I was like, why did they do this? I wasn't even disappointed. I was like,
I think we all were like that. Yeah. I think we all were like that. Yeah. Another good pick right here, which I think about Aldous Hodge.
Hey. All for it, man. Because you know what? I think this is the one that you want. Strictly, the height. I think he has the look for it. The kinship he can bring, like the family aspect, because we've seen him in Cross as well with the family dynamic. but I really like how he just. I think he just looks like a Panther. He looks like he can play that kind of role. So he can fill all of the categories.
So when he did, when when he was Hawkman, in Black Adam, I felt like he was able to embody that character really well. And so I think he was able to kind of toe that line on just on the edge of about to have some comedic value to it because of just the way things were written.
Yeah.
But he also was still very serious in that role,
Yeah.
I think he could do that.
So, AK, you heard he might play another character in the MCU?
I haven't heard anything, but I mean,
neither have I. I mean, I'm not saying it's not true, but I haven't heard that either. I've been feeling like pretty much every list has had him on it for the recasting.
Forever,
This is the one I do want, though. They're gonna choose out of all the black actors, this is the person that I want.
And the crazy thing about it, he said he would love to play that character at some point too. So it's. I mean, I wouldn't fight that one at all.
Yeah, it was the MCU, but it's been a while. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, it might have been something that was like floating around for a while before he got to play.
Well, I like the fact that he started out doing a lot of TV stuff because he was, he was the tech guy, doing TV stuff. And so I feel like transitioning into film, I'm gonna be honest, Cross to me, just personally, wasn't playing like a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been a one-off movie telling all that stuff all in one. And I felt like it was cinematic from the jump for me. And I just like how intelligent he played the character, and he was very believable in the role. He didn't look like he was acting.
Absolutely. Aldous has the right look. He can pull off super intellect as seen in Leverage, Hawkman. Showed us his reality. Exactly. 100%. I feel like this is probably like everybody's, like Jay said, everybody's like top choice.
Yeah.
Okay. Franklin. Okay. He got the range for it. I feel like he could pull it off. But I don't know about the physicality part.
He's a little bitty dude, though.
Yeah. That's
a little bitty dude.
So the only way for me, what I'm looking at right now is like, how there was a younger version of T'Challa that we saw in Black Panther 2. He has a son now. The only way I see this happening for him playing a Black Panther type character would him to play a young Black Panther or something like that, or a son, like maybe years later down the road. I don't see him as a role of like a T'Chaka or anything like that, or a Zuri, none of that. And it's not this, it's just the young face.
For me, I feel like he's going to have to put on at least like 15 pounds, maybe 20, in order to get that believable superhero look. Because, the MCU people, like, they be in the gym heavy. Not to say he's out of shape by any means, but I feel like for a superhero, I feel like, he has a smaller frame for a superhero.
You have to have a certain look, too, unfortunately, for certain characters, especially when it comes to frame. You get, like, broader shoulders. The muscles have to be there, so...
Yeah, he has a everyman look. I mean, he's very fit, but he just has an everyman look. So he doesn't stand out so much. Now, it was a little bit fool's gold because the reality was, I mean, Chadwick wasn't that big, truthfully.
No.
He really was. I mean, and they actually have closer to the same stature than like an Aldous Hodge. Aldous Hodge is a lot taller than both of them. So. I mean, it's not completely outside the bounds, and I 100% believe he pulled off the acting piece.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The
man had me believing he was from freaking Compton. So
yeah. But then it turned out he eating beans on toast and shit.
Right.
All right, so let's get it over with.
I won't say hard pass, but I'm good on my man because I feel like it'll be too much distraction on just his look. I think it'll be too much. Like, I think they would almost fan cast him in a way that every time he's on screen, somebody's saying something about what he looks like.
Yeah. And I don't get me wrong. Like, I know women faces way more than men do in Hollywood, but like, I'm not interested in seeing a light-skinned Black Panther, just like I'm not interested in seeing a light-skinned Green Lantern, but that's another conversation for another day. Pass. Not interested. How do you think the new Black Panther will be introduced? My guess it comes from another universe, like Natasha and What If. From my understanding, I thought that we were going to do a time jump with his son. I don't know. I may have just guessed that. I don't know.
Well, they've kind of since they're still in the process of figuring it out. It looks like they're trying to decide if they're gonna do the alternate universe. I don't think they're gonna continue any of that like complete storyline because I mean I'm gonna be honest. Namora to me was they kind of messed up a little bit of that stuff.
They did.
And I don't know. They kind of threw the sun piece in there to kind of still pay homage to what they were looking at when Chadwick was still alive. But
yeah.
I wouldn't be sold on it if they just tried to continue it because it would just be hard to. I mean, you know, MCU stuff is still so when it comes to them just saying, "Hey, this is what it is." I don't want to suspend all my disbelief with it. You know.
Exactly. You don't want to have to work too hard to believe what you're seeing on your screen.
I agree with what AK just put up there. Once the incursions start, reality and universe hopping will be heavy in play. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
One thing I do want to say just real quick though about that too is the story is that, you know, even though we have like a King M'Baku's technically king for now, and I'm sure we'll have another Black Panther in the future, I still, as far as the story don't right now, want to see the focus kind of shift towards another Black Panther because we already have one as Shuri. So I kind of want to see that story be fleshed out a little bit more before we enter into another story because I think that will get a little bit confused. And right now, I mean, even in comics, there's one Panther that can exist. Yeah. So. But also with the Jon Stewart situation and with Aaron Pierre and all that, I think also I think a lot of people don't get the right representation. People look like who are your skin tone, RJ, your skin tone, my skin tone, don't get the right representation in Hollywood sometimes. But again, that's not for another story. So I think that's important too.
We got Black History Month coming up. We can discuss that.
There you go. Let's talk about all of that stuff from Black History. That's gonna be a good show. Because listen, y'all know I'm a Jon Stewart, like that's how like when certain demographic people was like, not my president, not my Green Lantern. Okay. I'm Jon Stewart down over here. Like, so I was tight when that happened. So so John Boyega, what do y'all think about him?
Hard pass for me.
I
don't dislike him. But I'm good. I'm good on him even entering into the MCU at all. I'm good. He can stick with Star Wars stuff.
Honestly, RJ, you know what? I'm actually okay with this. You want to know why? Because I'm sure both of you have seen Woman King, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you remember the scene where he was sitting on the throne and he was kind of had this outfit on? So when I was watching that scene with him in it, I was. It kind of gave me Black Panther because I imagined him sitting on that throne and the way he was talking, the way his posture, and he was sitting on the throne kind of represented the king. So I think he kind of gave me a glimpse of what he could be. So I actually like him. I would want to see him as Black Panther if no one else was up for that role.
So if everybody died suddenly, you'd be okay with him being the Black. That's basically what you just said. If everybody died,
I'm saying like if they don't choose like any of the other Black actors that I would want, that'd be fine. I'd be okay.
As long as he's the last Black actor in Hollywood, he can be Black Panther. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's for me, there's always been a weird disconnect with him for me. I've never, I can't say I haven't believed him in his roles.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something just missing for me.
Yeah.
And it's that factor that just wasn't, maybe it's a sex appeal thing. I don't think it resonates a certain way. I think, but I
prefer American actor though.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's no offense to John. It's just that I just think there's more American actors need to get opportunities like that, especially when it comes, like I said, to the representation of that darker brown skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's bring up another American actor then. Justin Timberlake.
I mean,
Moving on.
I was gonna say I don't
Trevante
think I have
Rhodes.
anything to say.
I have nothing.
Trevante Rhodes.
Yeah, that's Trevante Rhodes actually my second choice. I think
Yeah.
just because I think he can play that role because he has like a little grittiness to him, and I think he can play the role of a young king. So I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I could see it. I mean, I'm not a huge I'm not totally against it, and I feel like that would give him an opportunity to kind of build something different outside of what he, what short-lived things that I've seen with him doing, because other characters, because these other guys have been cast and stuff, and they've already kind of sort of laid the foundation for who they really are as actors. But I'm not saying that it's a complete, like shoe in. I'm still,
Well, Gerald, to back you up on that now, because I'm actually thinking about it now. So, I mean, yes, I could still see him as a Black Panther, but also for him strictly, I think I kind of see him more as like a mercenary in certain roles. So, like kind of like a lone wolf or like a war dog or something like that. It kind of just goes on these missions by himself and like
it's a
takes
side character type thing.
Yeah, and it's not a diss. I just feel like maybe it's just not all the way there, but he could get away with it.
Yeah,
I could agree with that.
I think we'd be okay with it, but we would prefer he not be.
I think what'll happen, just being honest, it'll be a lot of who's that?
Yeah.
Over and over. Yeah. Over and over. Who's that?
Yeah.
Who's that guy? Who's that guy? Over and over. And I don't think Marvel really likes playing that game. When it comes to casting, they like to bring you like all the way in. There's not a ton of unknown characters, when they cast.
Yep.
Yeah.
M'Baku's tribe, yep.
Yeah, exactly. Like he could be like a secondary character
and he could be like a rogue character that could
exactly
maybe have a bigger storyline down the road.
Exactly.
But, or during something big and just be like, dang, I expect him to do that,
Yeah, yep.
So
I agree. He's a sleeper character.
Yeah, I could definitely see him as part of M'Baku's tribe. So yeah, I guess the ladies in the chat are like, yeah, Trevante, yeah, we know why. We know why. Okay, so let's go on. And I won't say I'm too familiar with this person. I had to kind of look up what they did.
Yeah, so I listed him, but it was more because he has an edge to him. His acting has a little bit more grit, I feel like.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason why I put him on here. I don't necessarily think there's a complete a ton of appeal.
Yeah.
But so his name is Sope Disaru.
Yeah, Disaru. Yeah, he's been in he's been in a lot of shows and stuff. But
yeah, but I think just for the most part, I was trying to think of somebody outside of the normal list of people, and I was kind of trying to break it down just based on a few things. But he's also played more supporting role, not complete in the spotlight. So is he ready to hop out there? I have no idea.
Well, Gerald, I think you still brought up a really, really good point for a lot of purposes because there's going to be a lot of, like you said, who is that again?
Right. Yeah.
So, and that's the problem. So,
but I think that's also one of the Eternals, aside from like Angelina Jolie and a few other people, like a lot of you have to think too, especially with Black people, and I'm pretty sure you heard the term before, Black famous. Like I have a friend who had no idea who Issa Rae was, and I'm like, how do you she's Issa Rae? Like they know Quinta Brunson because of her proximity to like white people. They don't know Issa Rae because of her proximity to Black people. So I think for a lot of lesser known Black actors, I think that it's something that it is an issue, but it's you want new actors that they're gonna have to start somewhere. You know, we're gonna have to who's that them for a minute until we know who they are.
I definitely agree. Yeah.
Okay, so I can't remember who put this in the chat.
That was so. That was. I think that was us just kind of bouncing around ideas when we were in the chat. I can't remember. I'm gonna just blame it on Dr. J.
Yeah,
I'm sure she'll love that. I'll just blame it on her.
I'll blame it on Dr. J as well. But
everybody said nope, nope.
but I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna let him stick to his CBS shows and his Paycom commercials.
Yeah, and his drama shows.
Yeah, I'll let him stick with his CBS stuff because my man is he's well past. He still look young, but I think he's dang near 60 now. So
no, and plus again, there's still that tone, brown skin of like it's not for me. It's not dark enough, so no.
Yeah.
That's a no. So this one's also a no for me, even though I did put him down because I had to like take a really good look. And the only reason I say that is because I still think I saw his acting. He's kind of like Trevante for like that kind of like secondary role, a sleeper, like a lone wolf.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my opinion.
Definitely a no for me.
Yeah.
I don't think that the look itself, just it doesn't stretch.
Cornrows.
Yeah.
The look doesn't stretch for me. So
yeah, it's not this, but not for me. No.
I go to consumer mind, and are you selling characters that look like him per se?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
he looks like he could play a cowboy or something, though.
Yeah, what was that movie that cowboy movie that came on Netflix? I feel like he'd fit in there.
The Harder They Fall.
The Harder They Fall. Yeah, I feel like he's like more kind of like.
I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a great movie. I love that movie. Man.
I watched it a couple times. Yeah,
such a great movie.
So out of everybody that we named, I'll start first. The best pick and your worst pick. My best pick, and I'm gonna stand on it, is John David Washington. My worst pick, serious picks, would probably be, I would say, John Boyega would be my worst.
Okay. For me, my best pick obviously would be Aldous Hodge, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, my worst pick, like in all seriousness, would probably be Damson Idris.
Okay. That's fair.
Okay, I'm gonna go with controversy now. My number one pick definitely would be Aldous Hodge, but my man Pierre, no go for me. It would do nothing for me. I would struggle. I would struggle with the idea of I'll just say people being stuck on him, just being eye candy the whole time and not focusing on him. And then I think that would let him off the hook on the acting piece too much. And then they would be like, finally they'll be like, oh my God, he can't act, or oh my God, he's overdoing this or overdoing, and I just could feel that being a thing. So
100%.
Low key, I forgot about Derek Luke. Honestly, I forgot.
Oh yeah, Derek.
Yeah. Well, he was in. Oh, Antoine. I couldn't think of it. Antoine Fisher.
Oh yeah.
Man, he's been off the radar for a while.
For a minute, yeah. That's probably why we wasn't thinking of him. I was not meant for this. You just want Trevante. You ain't slick. Oh, what's his name? What did I just put on there? Who was just up?
I think it was.
Was it him? No, definitely wasn't him.
Hovind Adepo.
Yeah, that's probably
the last one.
Yeah. I think Aldous should. If they go that route, they change the storyline. I think Aldous would probably be the best for it. But let's see what happens with the future of MCU.
And I think it also is going to depend on a couple things because with them now, obviously, I don't know how soon if they're going to try to do it on part 3. with them writing Denzel in there, like that is a whole nother aspect that I didn't really think about, because he's gonna. From my understanding, he's supposed to play a villain. For all the research I've been doing, so I don't know if he's gonna be a true villain or if he's gonna be like a anti-hero type or just kind of a instigator.
To be honest, I'm tired of the anti-hero. I'm tired of the villain with a reason. I want to see
they all kind of have reasons, but I get what you're saying. You want somebody that's just like, look, I just want to hurt people.
I want somebody to say, I'm just here to simply burn this down and laugh. Like that's the kind of evil I need. I don't want them to be like, no, stop, this isn't you. No, none of that. Like, it's smoke. That's what people need to be like. This man here, like, you want what you want and you go for it. I don't care who you got to drop off of a ledge, you drop them. That's what I want.
To be fair, and to back you up on it, I mean, I don't like movies like Venom and Craven and stuff, because again, you're turning a rogue gallery of someone's villains into something that they don't really have, like, in them all the time. Like, there's different stories, of course, things are written differently, but for the most part, villains are villains. I would like to see some villains just be that. Not everyone has to be,
and they can win. It's okay for them to win in their story.
Exactly.
I do have an issue with
exactly.
Well, evil for the sake of being evil, yeah.
Because no, go ahead, Jared.
No, I'm just saying, it ultimately, if you so prime example, I'll just be honest, this is the reason why Infinity War was probably still one of my favorites out of any of the MCU movies, because Thanos got to his goal. Thanos, he said, he had a purpose, but he also had a plan, and he carried that mug out. And he was like, listen, I love you, Gamora, but I'm sorry, I got things to do. You know what I'm saying? And everybody else that was in his way, he's like, no, you are literally window dressing to me getting to my goal. And that smirk he had on his face at the end was straight satisfaction. That's all it was. And I kind of hate how quickly they got rid of him in
I know.
Or at least that version of him,
And just say one thing to that, Gerald, too, just one last thing, is that, with sequels, and not just necessarily sequels, depending on how you do a story, I feel like cliffhangers like that, like Infinity War, and I know RJ hasn't seen a few Star Wars films yet, like with Empire Strikes Back, like, Clone Wars, movies like that, really put you on the edge, making it feel like that, yes, the bad guys are going to win, and there's absolutely not a damn thing you can there's nothing you can do, and we are here. I think we need to, not every movie has to be like that, but definitely there's lost the source of the storytelling when it comes to that, I feel like.
Absolutely.
Too much, because it's all fan service. It's like, dude, think about it. If you really go back to it, I wasn't even a big comic book reader, but what I learned for marketing purposes, they would let the bad guy be in the lead for 5 episodes, for 5 comic books, you know what I'm saying, before they move to that 6-1, then the good guy gets the upper hand. But for 5 issues, he just wreaking havoc, or she's just wreaking havoc until Batman or somebody comes back and actually does something. So I think the MCU tends to let that fan service drive a lot of what they're doing. And then they like to do the trolling where people do all this theorizing, and then they be like, let's add that.
Mephisto,
like what a BS they pulled with Loki. That, and then
I just season 2.
Huh? Not season 2. It wasn't even season 2. It was season 1. When he was talking about how he faked his death. Everybody had theorized about him floating in the background. They just wrote that in. That didn't happen for real.
Man,
get out of here with that. You're not about to make me believe that they wrote that knowing that they was going to say that in freaking the series. I was like, get out of here with that.
Yeah,
exactly. And for RJ, I promise this is the last thing I'll say to you, because I know you're going to agree with this when it comes to the MCU and Marvel. Please, for the love of God, as Gerald just mentioned, stop killing your villains off so early.
Yeah.
Please stop making one movie, and like you can do a half of like another part of it, but like don't just X them out of the picture so quick.
It's a one and done for a lot of them, and I feel like for me, it makes it feel like the stakes are never that high because the good guy's going to win in the end. It's one thing if the MCU just came out, like y'all know y'all are getting another movie. Stretch it out a little bit. It's okay. They don't always gotta win, and the heroes don't always gotta win, and the villains.
It can be a stalemate. It can be a freaking stalemate. Exactly. It's okay to be a stalemate. Yeah. A lot of our superheroes are humans. They're not gods. They're not, all these beings that have all these powers. Some of them they just got on armor. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay for them to be like, man, I'm tired, bro. I can't. I got to sit this one out.
Because it's like you mean to tell me there's not a single villain who ever gets what they want? Like it's like everybody loses. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't.
Yeah. No. So
this right here, they can be defeated and still live. They need to come up. They need to change the script. Absolutely.
That's what it is. Because I feel like they've only done it with certain villains, but for the most part, we all know because we've seen it. They X out a lot of their villains out of the picture. Like, just one example is Ultron. Ultron's a sentient robot that you really can't destroy, but he's kind of destroyed right now, and there's nothing to that. So
you know what I miss?
He's floating out there in the ether somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah, but y'all know what I really miss? Like a good villain that gets defeated and they run out the door, and they come back and they go, "You're gonna rule the day." Like you don't get that no more.
No, we don't get it. And that's why I say like the source has to really be rooted in just like, I hate this person and I want to take him out or like, kill him, whatever it is, because I feel like not every vigilante or villain has to be turned into a vigilante, like kind of leaning and tapping into the hero aspect. We don't need that.
So what do y'all think about them? Now, I'm gonna just be honest. I'm not on board with this, but they were discussing the idea of possibly, since Robert Downey Jr. is a different character, maybe trying to pull Michael B. Jordan over to the
no. No, I don't want to see him. And
hey man, I'm just telling you, that's what the talk is. I don't agree with it personally.
Listen.
But they like. Well, I mean, they bring Robert Downey Jr. in as Dr. Doom. They could just go ahead and just let him be the new Black Panther. I was like, no, because first off, that is 100% a character you should not have killed off. You should not. You shouldn't have even let him. Like, honestly, truth be told, what they should have done, I feel like they should have. I feel like T'Challa. I get it. T'Challa's super, super duper valiant and all this, but I feel like they should have saved him. Anyway,
you know how you mentioned earlier about how that was low key in the back. If they should have done like a fake death for anybody, it should have been Killmonger. Dora Milaje, who were really for him, could have taken him, saved him, and hit him.
They were for the throne. They weren't for him. They were for the throne.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
I feel like they should. I feel like even that really should have been T'Challa's decision to go ahead and make, because the reality is that argument they had, even the argument that he had with his father in the ancestral plane. When he found out he killed his uncle, that should have been his redeeming factor because he basically killed his cousin.
Yeah,
so that should have been like, dang.
But
I know he don't want to die. I mean, I know he wants to die, but I feel like he's redeemable.
Well, that's because I agree with everything you're saying. It makes me so mad with that, because RJ brought this conversation up with Killmonger, is that you have a character who already can be fused into the powers of the Black Panther, and he was Black Panther.
Right.
But it's not just that. It's the fact that like how he was redeemed, or how he could have been redeemed. Like you didn't have to like have him stab himself. Yes, he wanted to die, as Gerald mentioned and stuff. But still, even then, the astral plane, I feel like Gerald, as he just mentioned, could have been told a whole different way in terms of bringing him into that plane. Be like, you know what, son, like we messed up. We left you out of Wakanda for a while. Now we can actually give you a chance to be someone, and you can become the Black Panther. But just know that there's a lot that comes with that, and you have to visit the spirit of Boss to make sure that she says that it's okay for you to take up that role again, because you did try to kill us. So
I think that'll create
they need to find a way. If they need to bring any villain back, it needs to be him That's the only way I'll accept Michael B. Jordan in the MCU, man. Like I can't. I was irritated when they brought Robert Downey Jr. back.
Oh yeah, I was not a fan.
I ain't going front. Like I was irritated because why?
Yeah,
We
because
were
I felt
done.
it was the easy way out. That was
Yeah,
easy. That
to
was
get
too
people to
easy
come
to
back.
do because everybody's in love with him as an actor.
Yeah,
So, oh well, let's just bring him in another costume, and then everybody can be hanging on his every word there, and they'll kind of maybe they won't see all the other chinks in the armor, if you will.
yeah.
You know.
It felt like
So,
super cheap, and like you said, cheap fan service, and I just wasn't here for it. I don't know. For me, I hope that they get the, I hope that they get the casting right. Either way, I feel like this is something that you just can't mess up. Like you gotta
Yeah,
choose the right person. They gotta
yeah.
be, if not a perfect fit, but a close perfect fit.
And I,
Um,
I, I hope I hope they really let Ryan Coogler in on the casting for real. Like not just here's your actor, just write the movie. You know,
yeah,
because I feel like if he has some insight on that, he can help them come up with a better storyline.
yeah. And I'll just say
Something's
as
gonna have
one
some
last.
staying power.
Yeah, and I'll just say as one last thing. I mean, it's the only way I see this working is like if they actually make the multiverse a thing now, like a real thing. You have to go to different planets, you have to go to different galaxies, universes all over the place to make it seem like your world is bigger than it is already right now, because it's not really working that well. So expand.
but I guess we'll see where they go with the Black Panther casting. And we're gonna be right back here again when they announce who is going to be taking up the mantle of the Black Panther. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to follow our panel. Our links are in the description. With that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Later days.
Later days.
Peace.